call her Mimi. Mimi's special gift is planning parties. And I did not realize this until I went to the first party at Kate's house that Mimi planned. It was around Christmas time, and it was a nutcracker party. Now, if I were having a nutcracker party, I'm sure there would be graham crackers and milk and maybe some music. That's it. Not Mimi's house. There was little cocktails for the kids in the finest little champagne things. There were sugar plum fairies everywhere and nutcrackers. They put on the nutcracker sitting on the record player, had tutus for all the girls, and they danced around. There was actually sugared plums over the top. You'd think that something like that would be ostentatious or would make me feel uncomfortable because there's no way my party ever measured up. But Mimi did this because this was her gift. Her gift was one of extravagance. And she did it in a way that didn't show off, that wasn't putting on airs, but it made all of us who gathered there feel very, very special and wonderful. And I thought about Mimi's parties as we were reading the gospel for today. Now, Jesus has grown up rather quickly in the church year. It wasn't but a month ago. We were sitting in church, remembering his birth. And now Jesus is a grown-up man. And in the Gospel of John today, we see his first miracle at a wedding in Cana of Galilee. Here's how it goes. They were at a wedding. A wedding is a special occasion, but it was a pretty much an average, ordinary special occasion. It wasn't transfiguration or something huge like that. A wedding. And Jesus was there with his friends, his mom, and they ran out of wine. Which I imagine, even after 2,000 years, that cultural relevance still rings true for us. Probably the same idea, like, we didn't really want to run out of wine. So Mary, Jesus' mom, comes up to him and says, "Hey, Jesus has got something here. Jesus, go fix it." He said, "Woman, this is not my time." I still do not like that Jesus called his wife a woman. He's the Son of God, I guess he can call her whatever he wants. But, the biblical scholars will tell you in that moment, he was not just his son and she was not just his mother. They were archetypal men. All right. So he said, "No, it's not my time," but he went ahead and did it anyway. Now, there were stone jars there for the Jewish rite of purification. And by that we're supposed to hear, they were just regular jugs that would have been there anyway, filled with clean water. There's nothing unusual about that. So Jesus goes over and does something. The steward dips into the jug, expecting water, pours it out, and it's wine. Hey, but here's what's cool about this story. The wine that Jesus made was the best wine they had tasted. And I love that in the Bible it says, the steward basically says, "Whoa. Usually, they serve the good wine first, and after everyone's drunk and can't tell the difference, then they pull out the bad wine." As soon as it says this. But you have saved the best for last. This is Jesus' first miracle in the Gospel of John, and it's nothing incredibly practical, is it? In Mark, he does a healing. In other Gospels, the miracles are like getting rid of demons. In John, the first miracle is changing water into wine because they had run out at a wedding. Seems impractical, but there's something really beautiful about this. At Jesus' first appearance on the scene, he's bringing joy into a happy situation, bringing abundant joy into the community. That's cool. And what's really cool about this is that there was much more wine than anyone would have expected, and the wine was of much better quality. Often when we hear miracle stories, they're called miracle stories. In John, this is not called a miracle. This is called a sign. And that's not a translation nuance. That's an actual different word. What do signs do? They point to something. This sign is not pointing to what we should be doing. Trust me, if the wine runs out of your wedding and you're caught empty-handed with a bunch of jugs of water, it's okay. You're still a faithful Christian if you can't turn that into wine. This sign is not pointing to us and what we should be doing. This sign is pointing to Jesus and who Jesus is. Jesus is the bringer of new life, and that life is abundant, and it's more than we ever thought possible, and it's better than we ever thought possible, just like that wine. And so, in this season of Epiphany, this is the season about Jesus' light shining into the world. Jesus, the Son of God, being made manifest in the world. As followers of Christ in this season of Epiphany and beyond, we are called to look at our own lives and how we, in our own ways, shine Jesus' light into the world. Think about your workplace, or your apartment complex, or your school, or your social groups. Think of folks who surround you every day. Think of the postman and the person who checks you out at Weissman's or Lowe's. Think about the people you encounter. How are we called to shine light into the world? How are we called to shine Jesus' light into the world?